Hey, good evening. Sometimes it drives me just flat out of my mind the things that I see on the internet. As it will come as no surprise to anybody, there's a lot of misinformation on the internet about really important things. But there's also misinformation about things that aren't necessarily all that important, but so easy to know the real thing that you don't have to, just guess or go with what everybody else says and thinks and propagate something that isn't exactly true. Oh, it killed me. And I wouldn't be making this video if it didn't happen 2 times in the last 2 days. I got misinformation from, I guess I'm subscribed to a certain site, some magazine, supposed to be very far out. And there's also a guy on YouTube. He's a professor and of rock and roll. Both these sources, both these sources refer to Roger Waters as lyricist, correct, bass player, correct, and main vocalist or lead vocalist, incorrect, of Pink Floyd. Now, it could be argued, that he is the lead vocalist for the album Animals, the lead vocalist for the album The Wall, and lead vocalist for the album The Final Cut. But nowhere else. Syd Barrett was the original lead vocalist for Pink Floyd. That's a fact. Everybody knows it. Syd Barrett called in, and then eventually the rest of the band called in Barrett's busking friend, David Gilmour, to fill in for Syd when Syd was in the middle, unfortunately, of his mental breakdown. David Gilmour became the lead guitar player, which Syd was. David Gilmour became the lead vocalist, which Syd was. And he wrote a lot of the music. Roger Waters wrote a lot of the lyrics. At no time, except for those 3 albums that I mentioned, did Roger Waters do any, there is no album that has predominantly Roger Waters as a vocalist, as a vocalist. He had a very long song on Wish You Were Here called Shine On You Crazy Diamond, where he did the vocals. But, before that, there's a lot of David Gilmour, and David Gilmour's vocals are supplemented by Rick Wright's vocals. They either sang duet occasionally, or they sang in harmony. And that was usually the case. Gilmour lead, Wright harmony. Roger Waters wrote a lot of the lyrics. Most of the lyrics, if we're being totally forthcoming, like every other site should be. How can these sites keep referring to Roger Waters as the lead vocalist? No. I'm a fan, by the way, of Roger Waters. I'm a fan, of Pink Floyd. I'm a fan of just about all things Floyd. But I know the difference between being a lyricist and being a vocalist. 2 different things. I'm also aware of somebody being a frontman, and Pink Floyd prided itself, I think tacitly, on being anonymous players in their own band. But if you had to point your finger at who was the frontman of Pink Floyd, you got to go with David Gilmour. Lead guitar solos, and the majority of the vocals. You will not convince me Roger Waters was ever the lead vocalist unless you narrow it down to 3 albums. 3 albums. Then Roger Waters was done with Pink Floyd and tried to have the band, sort of swept away in a legal sense. And the other guys in the band said, no, wait. The two guys left in the band said that. No, wait a minute. We're gonna continue without you. But they were able to make that work and continue without Roger Waters, just like Pink Floyd continued without Syd Barrett, because they had a face that was known. They had a voice that was known. They had a sound that was known. And that a lot of that sound, aside from Rick Wright's keyboards, which weren't to be found on the final cut, or possibly even the wall, I don't think, but they were on Momentary Lapse of Reason and Division Bell and Endless River, if you want to count that as well. So please don't tell me, don't pontificate from your site or from your publication or from your channel information that is easily found out anywhere on the web. In books still exist. You could figure out. There's video of them recording albums, of Pink Floyd recording albums. Who's doing the singing? Mostly not Roger Waters. Damn it. Here it is, 10:47 in the evening. I got so ticked off because for the second time now in 2 days, somebody referred to Roger Waters as the lead vocalist of Pink Floyd. It is not the case. Get your facts straight. He's the lyricist and the bass player, and he's great at both. David Gilmour is great at playing guitar and singing and writing music. And so is Rick Wright. He was good at writing music, holding the band together with his particular sound. Nick Mason, one of the most underrated drummers because he never played fancy. He had a 70 beat per minute drum rhythm, and it was perfect for Pink Floyd. Syd Barrett was the originator of that sound in 1967 of the English nasally rock and roller, folky turn rock and roller wannabe blues guy. He was the prototype of, who David Bowie based himself on, who Robin Hitchcock based himself on. A slew of people based themselves on Syd Barrett. So, I mean, don't tell me Roger Waters was the lead singer of Pink Floyd. He was not. He was not. For 3 albums, yeah, okay, I'll give you those 3. But through the course of that band's existence, no. No, you're wrong. Admit you're wrong. Admit you're wrong. Admit you didn't do your research, or you've gotten information that you heard once and you've been running with it for years, and you're wrong. That's all. One of my favorite bands in the world, obviously, is Pink Floyd. I know a lot about them, but this isn't something that's so like esoteric. It's not so crazy secretive that not anybody would know about it. Everybody should know. Roger Waters was the lyricist, but not the lead vocalist of Pink Floyd. Look it up. See ya.